There's a million of those who won't let us be, but they're not gonna see me bleed. Cause baby, I got you. I've been beaten to the ground, dragged across the dirt. I've been scared to live cause some people never learn. But they're not gonna watch me burn. Cause baby, I got you. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's the dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try but they can never take me down. Ooh, cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. They always bring all the lonely, but with you here nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I will tell them what I'm feeling forevermore. I don't care about the feelings, not anymore. So let's show them that love is pure, no matter who it's for. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's the dancing underneath the disco light. They can try but they can never take me down. Cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. They always bring all the lonely, but with you here nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. Not afraid to love you.
Hola, everybody. Good afternoon. Happy Tequila Thursday. Crazy day today, you guys. Crazy day. Lots of stuff happening. It's been, sorry we're later, but I can start moving it to 1 o'clock now. I think a lot more people like the later time. So we may make this the normal time. It all depends on what goes on with the schedule, but it's 1 o'clock today, just because 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, because of how busy it's been. For those of you that are in the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective, you know, the 6-barrel añejo from G4 landed today at Ferment and Still, and it was an exclusive for Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective members, and it went fast. It sold out. We only got 2 cases of it because it's heavily allocated, because it's very limited. But some lucky members that pay attention to the Discord were able to get in and get their bottle. We did limit it to 1 per person in the Discord group, but we do have another allocated item that's coming in, most likely I think by tomorrow, maybe, hopefully by the end of the week. If not, it will be next week. It is the Knob Creek Rye El Tesoro Mundial collection, expression that they're doing. That one's coming in. It's going to be for collective members only, it looks like, to start, and then if the collective members don't buy it all, then we'll open it up for the public. But I think it's going to end up being purchased by all the collective members. So other things happening this week. I do have another bottle that's coming in today from a new brand that is sending me stuff. I don't know if they watch the channel or not. I hope they do, because they're sending me a bottle of stuff from a distillery that uses a diffuser, and it's a Cristalino, so it's going to be an interesting one on this review. I think you guys are not going to want to miss it, but I'm supposed to talk with the brand people and find out about the production details and stuff. So I get all that, and you just look for that review to come out. What else is going on? I did do a review of the Lagrimas El Chiqueño edition. wasn't a big fan of it, so I decided to throw a stave in, and I'm aging this one now. This is a second use stave, so it's going to be lighter with the wood accents since this is a second use. So this is going to be really good, I think. So we'll let it age with a Beyond Barrel aging stave. That's one of the things too, is if you have something you don't like, you don't need to bury it in cocktails and stuff. Throw a Beyond Barrel aging stave in it and age it to something that tastes better, because wood aging, by all means, takes the funk out of any tequila. That's one of the things, you know, they always say Blancos are the best expression, the blood and the heart and soul of a tequila line. It's true, you can't hide flaws with a Blanco, but when you age it with wood, you can hide flaws. You can cover flaws up. And so that's one way. If you have something that you don't like with the something like the Lagrimas here that I wasn't particularly a fan of, I can make it taste better with a nice aging stave. And I'll age it to probably a Repo or a Neo or something like that. We'll see what kind of flavor profile I get from it. I just dropped it in a couple of days ago, so that should be really good. I bought 2 bottles of Lagrimas, and I'm gonna age the other one too, but I'll probably use a brand new stave for that, and age that one as well. I want to try the Palo Verde. Now, just because I don't like the second expression, I mean, this is something that you guys should take into consideration too. Each batch from traditionally made tequila is going to be different from each other. You can try a bottle of G4 from a particular batch and not like it, but then try another bottle from another batch and go, wow, this is completely different. I love this. And so that's kind of one of the nuances that there is for the tequila world. So when someone says that when you hear that there's a really good traditionally made brand and you buy a bottle to try it, don't give up on it after the first bottle from the one batch, because you may purchase another bottle and try it and find out that it's actually quite enjoyable and you like it. There's batches of G4 where I've tried a Blanco from a batch and went, this isn't as good as previous bottles, and then I'll try another bottle. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, you know. So it's just a matter of kind of being patient and not giving up on something so quick. So I recommend that, you know, give it a chance. You can also revisit it too after the first taste and see if it gets better after it's been open a little bit. That's what I normally try to do. You'll see me update and talk about stuff where I reviewed and the first impression was like, yeah, no, but then I kind of revisit it later and then go, yeah, you know, this is actually quite good. And so I'm going to be revisiting some of the ones I've done a couple years ago when I was just starting off with the channel, and revisit some of the brands and give my new, you know, impression of them and what I think. So you'll see some videos of some brands that I've already reviewed previously coming back and joining again. So, but I do want to try the Palo Verde. I've heard that's better than the new batch, so I'm going to try to find a bottle of that and try it, and I'll do a review if I do find it. All right, so then let's check in with some of our subscribers. We're getting a bunch of comments piling up here, so let's join in on that. Hey, Joseph Hammer, bienvenido, welcome, glad you can make it. Jan, bienvenido, welcome, glad you can make it. Happy Tequila Thursday, Jan. Guillermo, buenas tardes to you as well. Bienvenido, welcome, glad you can make it. Hey, Hombre, happy Tequila Thursday to you too, Ruben. Cole Center, hola, bienvenido, welcome. Glad you can make it. Quicksilver, good to see you. Happy Tequila Thursday to you too. Alex, hola, hello, welcome. Travis, hola, bienvenido, welcome. Silos P, haven't seen you in a while. Wow, good to see you, Silos. Bienvenido, welcome. Que pasa, hombre? I hope you're doing well. I am doing great, Money, and I hope you're doing as well as well. Cheers, Mark, and everyone. Cheers, Tater. Glad you can make it. Yes, 1 p.m. For me, 4 p.m. ready to go. There you go. Nice. Happy Thursday, tequila, everyone, from Team Zertuke Travels. Bienvenido. Hello, GMP. Beyond Barrel, hola, bienvenido, welcome. Carl says, I need to pull my stave for my Otto Blanco, attempting a Widow Jane Repo recreation. Nice. I'd love to hear how that goes. It's hard to hear you with the music still play. Okay, well, I'll turn. Did I turn it down a little bit? Is that better? Is that? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm drinking the Lagrimas Palo Verde. It's actually easy to drink and sweet. Haven't tried the one you tried. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the second one. The Lagrimas Repo I often hear is more like than the Blanco. Oh, okay. I'll have to try the Repo. I'm working on getting us some bottles to ferment and still. So, but if not, I'll pick one up from someplace else. The old bottles or the old bottles? The new bottles. Oh, no, I'm going to revisit the new stuff. Yeah, no, all the old stuff's probably gone. But it'll be new bottles. I do have some older bottles that I'll probably revisit too, but you know, I'll talk about it when I do it. Hola, bienvenido, welcome. Hombre, your thoughts on Carrera Reposado Cristalino? I'm not a Cristalino person. I know there's no additives in it. I haven't tried it. I haven't tried the Carrera Reposado Cristalino. I tend to steer myself away from Cristalinos. There's only 2 Cristalinos that I really have here that I only visit a Cristalino when I'm like going to be watching football all day and want something to drink all day that's not going to blow my palate away and something I could sip on and enjoy for, 4 hours or whatever when I'm watching football and enjoying a good stogie. So the only 2 that I like are the El Tequilano Cristalino, which I did the review. If you haven't seen on the channel, I did the review on the roof with Tony Saez in Tequila, on the roof of their hotel Casa Saez. And then the other one is the Cristal from San Matias. I like that one, and that's one too. If I have friends that are coming over that aren't hardcore tequila drinkers, that's something too that they'll enjoy and can drink, and there's no additives in that one either. Hey Jermaine, bienvenido, welcome. Hope all is well with you too. Glad you can make it. Happy Tequila Thursday, everyone, from DT Cruiser. DT, glad you can make it. Ivan, hola. Going to Arandas next week. Any tequila store you recommend I visit out there? The one that's good in Arandas is the Santa Barbara liquor is in Arandas. That's a good one. They have some good selections of stuff there and really decent prices. Licor y Vino y Licores is another good one that's up there. The Vino y Licores, there's one that's right down the street from where Viva Mexico's distillery is. That one's not bad either. But I think the Santa Barbara has a better selection. So that's a good one to check out while you're up in Arandas. I tried the Volans Still Strength last week. Great stuff. Well, I have a bottle coming. I'll do a review of the Volans Still Strength. So, but I'm glad you liked it. Well, do you do the Vol? Yes, I will do a review of it. It's coming. We just got it at Ferment and Still, so I purchased it. And what you guys don't understand is I buy a lot of the stuff that I review. Some of the stuff the brand sends me, but some stuff I buy. I pay for it. And buy it myself. So I ordered the Still Strength when it went up, and I've got that coming. And I ordered the 6-barrel Añejo too from Ferment and Still today, when we put that up for the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective members, since I am a collective member. So and that's one of the things too, for those of you that aren't members of the collective, it's a fun group. Everyone there is really great. A bunch of the people commenting here, some of them are members there, and it's a Discord community as well. So there's a lot of conversations going on and talk, and it's a really good group of people. So not only do you get access to some of the allocated stuff that Ferment and Still gets, and you get priority on it. Sometimes you get first shot, other times it's exclusively for the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective members. We also do our barrel buys. I've got 2 barrel buys from the San Matias Gran Reserva. It's going to be the 90 proof, and they're 2 completely different barrels, which I think is going to be great. So you can buy a bottle of each, and One's more of like an aperitif, you know, afternoon sipper. The other one's more of like a dessert extra neo. So those are going to be really good. We're getting those in. And then we also have a special batch of Viva Mexico, which is in the process of being bottled now. And this is from, you know, 1414. It's a really solid Blanco. Now, this was an experimental batch that Sergio Cruz was playing with, and when I went there, he's like, "Oh, Mark, you got to try some of this stuff." I was playing with it, and I made this Blanco, and they were going to keep it originally at the distillery just to give people when they came to visit and for them to drink. And I said, "No, I want to buy the whole thing." And so we went back and forth with Sergio Cruz and Sergio Vivanco before they said, "Okay, we'll sell it to you." So it's in the process of being bottled. It's been sitting in a tank there for 2 years. I've been working on trying to get them to bottle it, but I think it's finally getting bottled. So hopefully we'll get that here by Christmas time. That's kind of like my goal, but we'll see, because things in Mexico don't exactly move fast. So when they do move, they move slow typically. So that's why sometimes some of these things take time. So, hey, I see in the review you scored a casket with RIP on it. I thought we only had the girls. Yeah, that one I didn't get from Ferment and Still. That one was from the rep from G4, who's a friend of mine. I had scored it from him. So I've got the girl and I've got the RIP. I've got 2 of the RIPs. I need the RIP, the not RIPs, but the El Pendillo. I need to get the Allen. The Allen one is the one I need. So if anyone's got an Allen one, extra Allen one, and you want to trade for a El Pendillo, send me a note. Otherwise, I could, you know, sell the El Pendillo one if anyone needs one. But it's just the shipping on it's going to be it's going to be expensive. There's a lot of people don't understand the cost of shipping. It's like, it's not cheap to send stuff when you don't have like a bulk account and do stuff for freight and stuff like that. It's expensive. So if someone wants that extra one, I don't need 2 of them, so I'll sell just the casket, and I'll, you know, come up with a reasonable price for it if somebody wants it. But then you'll have to pay for shipping too, because it's gonna be costly to ship. It's a big box. So so that's what's going on. The budget brand series has been taken off. It's great. People are loving it, which is good. We're going to keep doing more budget stuff. So far we did the San Matias Grand Reserve Extra Nejo in the first one, and we did Trader Joe's. I've got some more budget stuff we're going to do reviews on, and some that you guys probably never heard about, which is going to be kind of fun too. Ones that are kind of newer, or not newer, but brands that are back on the market that are good budget brands that we're going to sit through and taste. And there's going to be some budget brands that I'm going to get to that I may not like. So not all of them are going to be recommendations, but some may be, hey, this is what many people could consider a budget brand, and then I'll give you my thoughts on it. So that's going to be fun. So keep watching that series. You know, the thumbnail looks the same on all of them, but it does have a different episode number on it. So that's what we're going to do, is keep them so it's just episode numbered by episode. And then you guys can go in, and there's going to be a playlist. There's a playlist right now. So if you look at the budget brand playlist on the channel, you can actually, you know, watch and binge all the budget brand stuff. But I wanted to do that because I got a lot of people that always ask me questions about good budget brands to get. And this way they can go through and watch the whole series and get all the budget stuff, and be able to get all the budget content in one fair scoop, I guess, one viewing, one binging. Just get some popcorn and some flaming hot Cheetos or something and watch all the episodes. I don't know why flaming hot Cheetos popped into my head. All right, so you guys, give me a like for the information I'm sharing with you today. Don't forget to click the thumbs up. Doesn't cost you anything, but it helps out, and I appreciate it if you do that. So make sure you click that thumbs up and give me a like. If you're new to the channel too, make sure you click the subscribe button and click the notification bell next to it. Become a subscriber here, so then you get notified every time I come live like this or post a review video or other content. And we're going to do some other stuff. I'm thinking of putting together an aging series. So we'll start doing a series on aging tequilas, using the Brown Barrel aging staves, and trying some stuff, different things with different seasonings and stuff for the stave. So you guys want to consider watching that and checking it out. So what price range do you consider a budget brand for you? The price range is going to be like, a Blanco, somewhere 20 below 30. I'll try to shoot for below $30, for most of the stuff, but below what a typical Blanco normally goes for 40, 49, $50. So I think budgets normally run $20-$30 probably, for stuff in the full line, something in Añejos that are inexpensive as well. So it's just stuff that's going to be more affordable than your standard, $50 for a Blanco and $60, $70 for a Repo and $80 to $100 for an Añejo type of normal stuff that's out there. So we'll I normally disclose the pricing and stuff. Like the Trader Joe's was $19.99 for the Blanco, which is a steal for this Blanco. Hey, thank you so much for becoming a member, Doc James 58. Thank you, I appreciate that. We have a new member, guys. Awesome. So and the Repo was $23.99, and the Añejo is $23.99, I think, as well. So that one definitely gets listed as a budget brand, but these are going to be ones that are more affordable than your standard price stuff. So they'll range, but they won't go too high for budget stuff that's inexpensive. A lot of people like, oh, I'm looking for a good mixer. The ones I'm looking for are good budgets that are good sippers, because if it's a good sipper, it'll be a good mixer, right? It's like no use in buying a crap tequila to bury it in a cocktail to only make it a crappy cocktail, right? You want everything to be good and enjoyable. And I look for stuff that's going to be a good sipper, because you can bury anything. You can buy diffused junk juice and bury it in a cocktail, and it won't taste so bad because you have so much sugar and stuff with all the syrups and stuff you'll throw in a cocktail. But when you use a good, it's like any meal you cook, right? The better the ingredients, the better the meal's going to be. So I'm really big about that. So you picked up the El Tesoro Blanco. You thought that was a great price. Yeah, El Tesoro is normally pretty reasonable. It all depends on if you're getting old stock too, because they've increased the pricing on it, so it's getting more expensive. But yeah, $39.99 is a good price for it. $40 is good for the Blanco, but you used to be able to find it for a lot less before Beam Suntory realized they were neglecting the brand and jacked the prices up on it. Because Beam Suntory, for a while, they've owned it for a while, but they never really paid attention to it. And it was a steal at the price that it was for. And people were like, oh, a lot of people weren't buying it. So then when they said we need to make an adjustment to make it, to make it priced at what it's really worth compared to other brands of similar quality, people had a fit when they did the price increase. It was not pretty. Is there a Tobala that you would recommend? You give 5 stars, or one you would most likely recommend? Because I'm trying to get into mezcal, but I only tried Espadín. Yeah, the Fuego y Humo is amazing. It's great. That's one of the best Tobalas that I've ever had. Another one would be from Dos Pasiones. That one's an amazing Tobala as well. Also, the Pluma Negra Tobala is a really nice Tobala as well. So those 3 are ones that I highly recommend. They're all really good Tobalas. So try one of those. You can find them all in Ferment and Still, Humelio. Hola, hombre. Hola, Al. Bienvenido. Welcome. Glad you can make it. What did you think about Siempre Valles Aniversario Joven? I didn't get the Joven, so I wasn't able to try it. So I missed out on that one. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to try it. But I heard it was expensive though too. So I don't know why David Suro didn't send a whole lot of it, and it was really expensive, and a lot of the special stuff he's sending now is getting pricey. It's getting really expensive. And a Joven, all a Joven is a mixture of an aged expression with a Blanco. So it shouldn't be that expensive. But he's trying to jump on the special batch bandwagon that some of these other brands are doing, where they're charging higher prices for them and people are going crazy over them. He's taking advantage of that, which he can't blame him. He wants to make more money. And so, but I haven't tried the Anniversario Joven, so I can't really comment on it. But if I can find a bottle and I can, I'll do a review, but we'll see. I do have the regular Siembra Azul Reposado that I've got a few bottles. I haven't opened it yet. I need to do a review of that. Siembra Azul, which is Sergio Cruz makes it for him up at 1414. It's good stuff. I like the Siembra Azul. I prefer the Siembra Azul stuff more than the Siembra Valles. Todd, hey, long time no see. How you doing, Todd? Glad you can make it, buddy. It's $116 at my local store. Too expensive. I don't know what the pricing is for it, but in all honesty, I wouldn't pay $116 for a Joven. That's a lot of money for a Joven. I mean, if it was something where it was like, I mean, if it was an añejo or something, maybe, I'd pay that much for an añejo, but I wouldn't pay $116 for a Joven. Unless it was like high proof. I don't know. Is it high proof? What's the percentage on it? What tequila would you recommend for my birthday? Ooh, for your birthday. Do you want something really, really good, but it's a pricey, or like a really good birthday present? What birthday are you celebrating? Because this tequila here, it's expensive, okay, but where's my bottle? It's expensive, but it's really good. I gotta find the bottle. It's tucked away somewhere. But if you haven't tried it, that San Matias blended añejo is so good. It is so good. Yeah, it's $400 for a bottle. But if you're looking for something special for a birthday or for a celebration, or to give somebody as a gift, it's fantastic. And the one thing I like is Rocio, who's the master distiller now. She's been the barrel person for San Matias for as long as I've been doing barrel picks and stuff with him. She's great, and she always makes sure that the agave is still present when she does her blending and stuff. And this was blend masterfully. It is so good. The agave is still there. It's expensive because it is very limited. They used to do a brand called Orgullo, which Orgullo was a really good budget brand, and it was a solid seller. I used to buy their Orgullo Añejo. It was like $30 for the Añejo, and it was so good. I would polish off several bottles of them, and they stopped making it because they moved the Orgullo name over to the Pueblo Viejo line. And so then when they did that, they discontinued the Orgullo and quit making that particular tequila, but they saved the last barrel for this particular project. So this project has the last barrel of Orgullo blended into it. So it'll never be done again. It's a one and done type of deal. And it is absolutely delicious. The more I visit it and the more I drink from it, the more I go, wow, this is fantastic. It's one of the better blended añejos I think I've had. So if you try that, then you're going to agree with me that it's really good. I recommend it. It would be a fantastic birthday present. Hey, you're welcome. See those it's only 41%. Yeah, I wouldn't spend $116 on a 41% Joven. A really good Joven, if you want a Joven, is the, what's the one? It's the horsefly on it. What is it? I forget. It's like dragonfly in Spanish. I forgot the name, but it's made from Bonanza. It's a good Joven, and you can buy a liter bottle of it for cheap. So the Joven I did with Cascanes was really good. That was the one that the first batch was the best. That's the one that I helped them make in my kitchen. That was really good, but they can't duplicate that. They've been trying, I guess. From what I've heard, they've been trying, but they haven't been able to duplicate it. So you're welcome, Al. So there's, stuff out there that's, they're going a little crazy on the special edition pricing. And I'm not, for some stuff, I don't mind supporting brands. Like for Felipe Camarena with the Dia de los Muertos, I know Felipe, I know Alan, I know Luis, I know all those guys at El Pandillo. They're really good friends of mine. They're like my family in Mexico. I hang out with Alan when I go to Arandas. We do things. I sat and was talking to Felipe while he was eating dinner at his house when I was there on one of the most recent trips I made. So I don't mind spending money to support them because I knew this was a project, the Dia de los Muertos Madera Repo. The Dia de los Muertos is something that Felipe has been wanting to do for years, and so he finally decided to do it. And so I'll support him and buy it, to support the brand. And I know the guys, too, at the marketing group that does it, and I've done work for them. So I've got a little special place in my heart for G4. I love the brand. I love what they do, and I try to do what I can to support the brand. So I was willing to buy that for the $399 price that they were selling it for at Ferment and Still, and then I was able to get another couple bottles from the marketing group directly because of some stuff I've done with them and helped them out. So I definitely am okay with spending money on stuff like that. Oh, you have 2 bottles of your Joven. Oh, it's first bat. Yeah, those are good. That's the best stuff. Any thoughts on Cascanes Rose Up? No thoughts. I haven't tried it. So they won't send me samples anymore because from what I've been told, they are afraid that I'm going to say something bad about it. I don't know. Got a question. What's a Sazerac company? The gentleman in the liquor store said Corazon tequila was Sazerac. I thought San Matias made that brand. Now, Sazerac owns the brand, but San Matias makes it for him. So Sazerac owns Buffalo Trace Distillery too, right? So Buffalo Trace, Blanton's, all the bourbons and stuff that come out of Buffalo Trace, those are all owned by Sazerac. Sazerac also owns Fireball, cinnamon schnapps, or whatever that cinnamon liquor is, crap stuff that they sell. Sazerac has their own Sazerac whiskey as well. So they have different brands that they sell, and Corazon de Agave is their brand. They own it, and they contract with Casa San Matias to make it for them, and also Sazerac imports all of San Matias's products for them. So they bring it in, they import it. Can you rank your Fortaleza expressions? I think their Añejo is the perfect tequila. No, I can't, because I'm not a big Fortaleza person. I think there's other brands that are better than Fortaleza. Fortaleza, I think, is hyped too much from people, and I don't think it deserves the hype that it gets. It's a good tequila, but there's others that I actually prefer more. So, I won't buy Fortaleza right now because of the ridiculous pricing on it now. And I think the people that buy it now at the ridiculous prices that are posted all over the place are freaking crazy. They're crazy. Just wait. They're building another distillery, and it's supposed to supposedly open in December. And when that happens, they'll start producing more, and then they'll have more stock, and then things should be stabilized. You'll be able to get it for those that want to try it. For those that haven't tried it yet, don't worry about it. You're not missing anything. Just wait. You'll get a chance to try it. Everything will will kind of chill out, and there'll be more stock available. You just gotta be patient and just wait, because the only expression from Fortaleza where I've gone back and drank multiple bottles of it was the Still Strength Blanco. That for me was the one that I enjoyed the most. The Añejo, it's okay. There's other Añejos I prefer more. The Repo, it's okay. There's other Repos I prefer more. The regular Blanco, it's okay. There's other Blancos I prefer more. So I'm not a huge Fortaleza fan. It's a great tequila. It's made right. Some people really like it. For me, there's other ones that I prefer more. So I'm not going to rank any Fortalezas. Hombre, have you tried Antelope Mezcal? I haven't tried Antelope Mezcal, no. But if you want to send me a bottle, I'll definitely do a review on it. I love mezcals, good mezcals. Mark, do you know anything about how Costco buys its tequila? Do they buy it by region or by store? No, they buy it all for all the stores. So they order a bunch of it. And they get a really good price on it, and then they just ship it from their main warehouse to all their stores. They don't do it by... Or do you mean it's like the tequila selections? Or are you talking about the Costco brand tequila? Because if you're talking about the selections, it's actually a local buyer that stocks your store, and you can actually go to them. Sometimes they'll handle more than one store. They'll handle like a region. And you can go to them and say, hey, can you order some, bring in some other brands of tequila, and you can request it. And sometimes they'll listen to you and sometimes they'll do it. But like the buyer here for the area that I'm here in Southern California, it's horrible, a horrible selection. But you can go up to the Bay Area in Costco, and they got some really good stuff for cheap up there. Don Pilar, you can get that there for like $22 for the Añejo, which is a great deal. I've picked up other bottles of stuff there that's like, wow, you can't get this here at Costco in Southern Cal. So when I used to go up and visit my sister-in-law up in Concord, California, we used to go hit the Concord Costco, and they always had a better selection than what we have down here. So, but other than that, if you're talking about the Kirkland brand, they buy all of it and distribute it to all the stores. But if you're talking about the selection, there's buyers for like regions that order that, and if you go into the store, you can ask him who the buyer is, and you can get directed to him, and then you can make you can request them to try to get certain stuff for the store. Now, one of the thing is Costco requires like a deal on pricing. So most of the time you won't see good tequila show up there unless they're trying to do a product dump and are willing to give them a really good price on stuff. Like El Tesoro, sometimes Beam Suntory will like be, oh, we got a bunch of inventory and we want to just get a product dump to sell a bunch of product right now and get it on the books for sale. So they'll dump a whole bunch of tequila at a really good price to Costco. So you can find like, I bought the Tequila Añejo for like $40 one time from El Tesoro, and I bought like 12 bottles of it because that's a good price. You can find stuff like that where a brand's just going to do a dump and sell a bunch of product cheap to them so they can sell it at a lower price. But that's typically if you find, you can go into the store and ask who the buyer is for that area, and you can put in a request to have them order stuff. So, hey, Pop KO, Total Wine now has tequila Pantalones, which is Matthew McConaughey's tequila. I never buy celebrity tequila, but try this. It's supposed to add it free. It's probably one of the best blancos. Okay, well, if I can get a bottle of Pantalones, I'll do a review of it.
This came back from a search.
Oops, I don't want it. Google's going crazy. It's getting a mind of its own. All right. Boss, have you tried Darumbas Guerrero Mezcal? I have some Darumbas. I don't believe I have the Guerrero. I have the San Luis Potosi. I've got I've got a few of the Durumbas. I have to look. I might have the Guerrero. I think I might have it. I have to look. Hey, hombre from Long Island. Hey, Ed Earns. My family's from Long Island originally. My dad lived in Belmore. Yes, I know you. Yes, I do. What would I pay for Fortaleza Still Strength? $55. That's what I used to pay for it. $55-$60. That's what it's worth. That's what it's worth to me. But right now, I am so stuck on the Carrera. I probably wouldn't buy the Fortaleza Still Strength, because I think the Carrera blows the Fortaleza Still Strength out of the water. If you haven't tried the Carrera Still Strength yet, you need to try it. It's amazing stuff. That's my favorite Still Strength right now. That's the one I drink the most. I just polished off a bottle the other day, and I just opened up another bottle the next day. So it's addictive. It's really good. A really good high proof. I don't think there's anything better yet high proof out there, Blanco wise, than the Carrera high proof. It's excellent. And even the 40% now, because it has the same flavor profile, the 40% is amazing as a Blanco. I love it. I keep ordering more bottles of it because I keep drinking it with friends that come over and stuff. It's really good Still Strength Blanco. It's the one I drink the most of right now. If you had to ask for a special tequila for Christmas time, what would it be? It would probably be that San Matias blended añejo. I'd ask for another bottle. It is so good. Really, it's great. That would probably be it. I mean, there isn't a whole lot of tequila bottles that I don't have. But I may just say, hey, honey, for Christmas, can you give me another bottle of this San Matias blended añejo? It's really good. It's limited to, once it's sold out, it's gone. But it's $400, so you have to save your pennies to buy it. Let me see, where was it? Okay. What agave would you say makes the sweetest mezcal? For me, I normally like Tobala is really good for sweetness, and so is Jabali. Jabali is a really good sweet, fruity agave. I love Jabali. Tobala, Tepestate, Jabali. Those are probably the ones that I enjoy the most. All right, what is this? 130 here in Long Island. Oh, wow. That's expensive. I agree with you on the Carrera 54. It's my favorite. Yeah, a lot of people have come back to me and said it's their favorite. People need to post the reviews too on Tequila Matchmaker to offset the haters of mine that are just putting fake reviews up that have never tried it. But I definitely it's my favorite too. Hey, hombre, did you decide on which expression to send to Curiosity? No, I have not thought of what expression yet. I'm leaning towards probably añejos or extra añejos for them, since they're mostly bourbon guys. I know they do tequila review, but they're mostly bourbon guys. So I'll send something that's more like in their wheelhouse. and do that with them. For those of you that don't know, I challenged Curiosity Public for a blind challenge for me. They're going to do it here on YouTube. They agreed to it. So it's going to be November 10th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on YouTube. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've been talking to Dutch there, and we're coordinating it all. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys won't miss it. I'm going to be doing another blind challenge tomorrow with some members from YouTube here We selected them. They are going to be on tomorrow night on Instagram at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to do, they don't know what high proof Blancos I sent them. They're going to we're going to try them, and they're going to pick which ones they like, and then I'll disclose which ones they are. I'm just going to be drinking and having a stogie and watching them. I'm not going to comment or anything, but it's great. Oh, nice. You love. Okay, cool. Carrera 54, great flavor for sip. I disagree. It's a fantastic mixer. It makes great margaritas. Thoughts on Mijenta Añejo? I haven't tried the Añejo yet. I haven't gotten a bottle of it. I refuse to pay $200 for that. I'm sorry. I don't think it's worth it. So, Jermaine says my two favorite Blancos is Carrera and Lalo. Are you talking to Carrera, the high proof, the still strength, or the regular 40, which is the same flavor profile as the still strength, just not 104 proof or 104% or 104 proof, 54%, 108 proof. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank here, brain wise. You posted a review of it on T. Oh, nice, good, awesome. Carrera it is then. Yeah, I definitely recommend the Carrera High Proof. You can find it on Ferment and Still. It was exclusively ours because I worked with them on creating that flavor profile. So I am, it is a baby of mine, but the only reason why we bought the whole thing was because of how really freaking good it is. A lot of people are like, oh, you're just saying that because you need to sell it. It's junk. No. And the only people that say that, and the only people that post reviews that say they're bad, are people that never tried it. And they instead have an agenda against me, which, hey, fine, if I'm living rent-free in your head and you need to post a bad review to go after a brand because I'm affiliated with it, then it just shows what kind of person you are. And when you read the reviews, you can figure it out, especially if you've tried it. There's reviews on there where you're like, what? No. Like one guy says he thinks there's additives in it. It's like, oh, come on. There's no additives at all. So you can tell those are the guys that have an agenda against me, which is fine. I have my haters. But if I wasn't doing things right, I wouldn't have haters. So El Luchador 110, 1570 is actually pretty good. Yeah, El Luchador is a really good high proof as well. Correct. Have you tried the Carrera Silos P? Have you tried the Carrera Still Strength? Both. Okay, both. Yeah, both are great. I'm glad you were able to try both, Jermaine. I'm glad you liked them. That's the only reason why we do that stuff, is so you guys can get a hold of some really good tequilas that are different. That now the one thing about the Carrera, I mean, people are like, oh, he talks about it so much, you just feel like he's a salesman and stuff. Well, if I didn't talk about it, nobody would know about it, right? So the whole reason why I talk about it is because it's so freaking good and I like it. And when there's something I like, I talk about it a lot. And the same was with G4 originally. Everything was like, oh, you're always talking about G4. Are you getting paid by them? But no, it's just the way I am. When I find something I like, I talk a lot about it. I tell a lot of people about it. I'm like a walking billboard. When I find something that's really good, I share it with people because I want them to try it and then come back and go, you were right. This is so good. I'm glad I found it. Blah, blah, blah. It's really good. And so this one it's phenomenal. It is the best, closest thing I've come to a tequila that highlights cooked agave, the cooked agave taste. It's like the cleanest fermentation in there. Now, one of the things that I'm finding, and this may be something you want to experiment with as well, when you buy a Blanco, look at the batch number on it, and look at when it was made and bottled or whatever, because most of the time they just put when it was bottled on, but Blancos are typically normally bottled shortly after they're made. Look on there and see what time of year it was made. What I find, okay, and this is something that I'm going to explore a little bit more, but this is kind of like a theory that I'm coming by. the better Blancos, and so I talked to you about how batches can be different from one batch to the other. The better Blancos, I think, are coming out when it's cold in Mexico, when it's cold in Arandas or in the Los Altos, or even in the Valle in Mexico, when the weather's colder. And the reason being, and I'm a big fermentation guy. You know, I was a master, not a master, but I was a home brewer, and I won a gold medal for my beer batch that I made. It went to nationals, and I won a gold medal, won a national championship for it. But one of the things that I've always been recognized for, and I won a lot of ribbons and awards from, was the fermentation. And temperature control on fermentation is key. If you watch your temperature on it and you monitor your temperature, you can get the best flavors from your tequila. It's when you don't monitor your temperatures during fermentation, when you get a lot of other fermentation notes that pop up and things that can make it hot, or it could add off flavors and notes to it. And when I was brewing beer, when I was fermenting, I was a temperature control freak. I knew what strain of yeast I was using, and I knew where that yeast worked the best, what temperature range. And I had temperature control systems set up that it's actually kind of cool. I'm like a tech guy. I love playing with tech and putting things together. And what I did is I took a big plastic tote, like a 54-gallon plastic tote, right? And I'd fill it up with water, and then I put an aquarium chiller on it. And an aquarium chiller, you can set what temperature you want that water to be, and it'll keep it at that temperature. And then you can hook an aquarium heater up to it too and drop it in. And then if it gets too cold, it will heat it up to keep it within that temperature range. And then when I fermented in glass carboys, because glass was great at, you know, being able to adjust temperature, much better than plastic, which is more of an insulator. So I'd put the wort in a glass carboy, and then I would drop that into the fermentation tank with this temperature controlled water. And when I did that, when I started playing and focusing more on temperature wise, I got cleaner flavor profiles. I got better tasting beers from it. And when I've talked to the microbiologist from the yeast supplier that I used to go to a lot, we always used to talk about temperature ranges. And he's like, yeah, you want the least amount of off flavors and stuff, stay within like in the middle of that range. And so when I was talking with Sergio Cruz, one of the things that he told me is he thinks the best tequila that he makes is when he's able to ferment at 10 degrees Celsius, which, what's 10 degrees Celsius? In Fahrenheit, it is, let me see, 10 Celsius to Fahrenheit. It's 50 degrees. So when it's 50 degrees in Arandas and it's 10 degrees Celsius, that's when he says he's produced some of the best batches that he's made. So look for something in the winter that's been produced in the winter time or in the early spring or fall when the temperatures are lower in Mexico, and try those tequilas and compare them against batches from the same brand that were done maybe in the summer when it was warmer out, because it gets up to 80 degrees and higher there in Arandas in the summer, and they're fermenting in steel vats they're covered, but it's still hot out, so it's still going to be in the 70s probably in the shade. So try that. Try looking at batch dates and stuff, and finding bottles that were done in the winter, early spring, or late fall, and see if you notice a difference. That's one of the things I'm going to start doing as kind of a experiment, because the Carrera 54, when we did that batch, it was done like in February, and it was around 50 degrees out. It was like 10 degrees Celsius, and the fermentation on it is so clean. It came out so good. And there's such good agave flavors still left The yeast didn't eat all that stuff up and turn it into something else. Instead, it's just super rich. And of course, we used 8-year-old agave in there too, so it's super ripe, super sweet agave. The Camarenas are agave farmers, so they have their own agave that they used, and they picked like the ripest, best agave that they could use, and it worked out great. So they tried to produce some other batches afterwards, and they said it wasn't the same, so they didn't release it. And so they're working, probably are going to look at probably the beginning of the year, trying to do another batch to duplicate it. But right now, this batch is a one-off, and I think it's going to be they're going to be hard pressed to try to duplicate it. But it's amazing. So if you haven't tried the 54 Carrera, grab a bottle, seriously, and approach it with an unbiased tequila lover mentality, and you'll love it. It's amazing stuff. Have I tried Pasote? I haven't tried it. I have a bottle, and it's on the calendar to be reviewed, so keep watching. So Wild Common is my favorite high plea, but I'm a big fan of the Carrera too. I think the Carrera 54 is better than the Wild Common still strength. I thought Wild Common was not nearly as flavorful and agave flavor rich as the Carrera was. So, but I'm glad you like Wild Common. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I bought a bottle of Fortaleza Blanco back when it was $72. I took one pour, then dropped the stave in it. Better off with Carrera for much. Exactly, yeah. I agree. I think the Carrera is better than Fortaleza. You tried the Pasote High Proof. It's decent, but not a fave. Okay, well, I'll see how I like it. I drink for science. There you go. That's what I'm doing. I'm drinking for science. And I love the experimentation part of this. I love experimenting. I love trying different things. And that's one of the things that a lot of the master distillers and stuff love about me when I'm going to the distillery and stuff. I always come up with ideas like, hey, we should try to do something like this. Would you want to do something like this as a project? A lot of times they go, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, all right, cool. But I'm all about experimenting. And that's one of the reasons why Sergio Cruz and I get along so well. He's a chemist teacher, a chemist professor at the local university there. And so when we start getting into science and chemistry and the art of fermentation and distillation, we sat there in his office at 1414 on the whiteboard, and we're drawing these distillation lines and talking about the cuts and talking about fermentation. We sat and just chatted for hours when I was there. Of course, drinking Viva Mexico while we're chatting too. So I love the science part of things too. So Fuente Seca 2018 El Palo. I don't know what you're asking. Thoughts on Siembra Valla's high proof? It's good. It's good. It's a Cascoine product. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not a favorite of mine. It's not something will buy multiple bottles of. But there's nothing wrong with it. People like it. It's not one of my favorites, but it's good. Nothing out of Cascoine is bad. I think Cascoine makes good tequila. Mr. Rosales, Java, Salvador, he does a good job. Java, he does a good job with what he does there. I like the Plata 48. It's one of my favorite tequilas from Cascoine. I like it more than the Taona Blanco. But I think their stuff's good. I think some of their stuff though, it lacks flavor. I don't know how better to say it. I think it's missing stuff for me compared to some other high proof. But I tend to be more of like I like my tequila to be more sweet cinnamon flavor rich and fruitier than I do vegetal and mineral. I don't mind a good vegetal flavor note in there or a little minerality in it. But when that's the majority of what you have, I tend to go more towards the sweet cinnamon and fruity flavor profiles in my blancos, and that's what I think the Carrera has. It has that sweet cinnamon cooked agave, just like eating a piece of cooked agave out of an Horno. That's what it reminds me of every time I drink that high proof blanco. But Cascaween for me, like the Sarah de Luz I thought was not great. When they did the Sarah de Luz, then I thought my whole thing was why I didn't particularly care for it. I thought that people were spending a lot of money on that, and I thought the La Luna Tequila Weber Blue Agave Mezcal that we have was better. It's a lot better, a lot more flavor, a lot more complex, but people were willing to spend $200 on it because it said tequila on it, when all it really was just a blander mezcal. And those people, it's funny because I sat with people that are agave aficionados like myself, a bunch of really well-respected people, and we tried them side by side, and people were like, yeah, it's the hype. People bought it because of the hype. It's good. It's a good Blanco. There's something wrong with it, but it just doesn't hit the mark of like the La Luna did. It just didn't hit the bar that the La Luna was height-wise. So if you haven't tried the La Luna Temporada, it's on Ferment and Still. It's made with Weber Blue Agave. It's made like an ancestral tequila, except they do put pomegranate in the still, so it is a pechuga. So it just adds a little bit of a fruity flavor note to it, but it's extremely enjoyable, especially if you're a tequila fan. There's no reason why you shouldn't like it. But it's really good. I prefer that over the Sarah de Luz out of Cascaween, but I love what Salvador does there. They make good stuff. So thank you for recommending the beautiful tequilas for us. I have not been disappointed. Oh, good. I'm glad my recommendations work for you. That's, very important to me that I not misrepresent something to you guys. And that's one of the reasons why with the memberships, if you're a Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective member, which is the Discord membership, as well as the YouTube member, which we just had somebody just sign up, which thank you very much for your support. I appreciate that. That's what basically funds what I do. That's what basically allows me to do all this stuff and to buy these things, to do reviews, and to be completely honest and unbiased. And so that's the way I am. I have no affiliations with any brands or anything. I am doing projects with a bunch of different brands on different stuff just to try new and exciting things and to bring new and exciting tequilas to you guys. And the whole goal is to tell you about stuff that I find that I like, and hopefully you'll enjoy it as well. And it'd be something new that you never knew about, or something that you didn't have access to, that you're able to get now and enjoy, and it brings you happiness. And I'm all about bringing people happiness. So, the Pasote high proof tastes like it was baked too long. It's good, but the over baked flavor is a little off-putting. Okay, well, I'll try it and I'll see what I think. I don't think you can over bake agave. So I don't think there's such thing as over baking, because honestly, it's steam and it's not really being baked. Bake is a dry heat. When you steam something, it's steamed. It's water. It's vaporized water in there, so it's not a dry heat like an oven would be. Ovens bake things. Steam, it's steam cooked. So I think using the term baking is kind of a misnomer or it can lead people to understand things wrong. Agave is cooked with steam. It's steamed. It's like taking your broccoli, right, and putting it in a pot and putting some water in the bottom of it and creating, steam with it, and steaming your broccoli, your vegetables before you eat them. It's the same concept, except it's done in a brick oven versus a pot, or in a autoclave, which is just a steel tube, but they're just pumping steam into it from a boiler. It's steamed. So I don't think it's possible to over steam something. I mean, it is if you're like going to eat the agave and you don't want it soggy type of thing, because it will get soggy because when you steam stuff, it does. But cooked agave, when you pull it out of the oven anyways, the Hornos, it's all mushy and it's dripping and they want it like that so they can get the sugars out of the fiber. That's the way it's supposed to be. So I don't think you can I've never had anybody ever where I tried it in a cooked agave at a distillery and said, oh, this is overcooked. Never. Because all they're doing is trying to get it up to a certain temperature just to get the starches converted to sugars, right? So they get it up to temperature. They just have to keep it there long enough to get to the middle. And that's all they're doing is waiting for the temperature to get into the middle of the stack of mezcal in there so they can, they call agave mezcal, but the stack of agave in there to get the starches converted to sugars. Does that make sense? Just picked up some Volans, Wild Common, and Tapatio. Super excited to try it. Nice. Those are good options. Good selections. A tequila I can't get enough of is that number 2 Repo. One of my favorites. Getting ready to try the El Luchador Repo now. Oh yeah, the El Luchador Repo is really good. 123 Organic. You can't go wrong with 123 Organic. The number 2 Repo is really good. The number 3 Añejo is good. I enjoy the whole line, and David Ravandi knows it. He knows. Yeah, I always got bottles right here, and it's like every time I drink a bottle, I always replace it with a new one. I love those. And for those of you that are Stogie smokers, he told me the flavor profile for those in Diablito were done for the Ramon Iones specially selected Cubano cigar. So if you want to do a pairing, try those with that if you can get them. It's contraband here in the U.S. because Cubans are illegal, but I understand that it's steamed, but it's the best way I know to describe the flavor without saying it, a burnt flavor. Okay. I'll try it. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, so I'll do a review of it and we'll see what I think. But nothing's worse than a burnt flavor. But normally the burnt flavor comes from like when they're wood cooking, like when they, and that's one of the things, with mezcal is you can burn agave with mezcal when you're doing the oven, the conical pit cooking in the ground. But with steam, steam only gets so hot. Although when it's pressurized and they put it under pressure, they can get it hotter, but it doesn't get hot enough to cause anything to burn. What is that? Hombre, so all tequila is mezcal, but not all mezcal is. Exactly, yes. See, and they call the agave, if you've ever like been hanging out in Mexico and in Jalisco I travel all over there when I'm there, and I talk to a bunch of different people. I talk to agaveros. They'll refer to their field of mezcales, which is the agave. They call them mezcales or mezcal. I have a field full of mezcal, and it's getting close to the point of being ready to harvest, and so they refer to it as mezcal. But yes, tequila is a mezcal. So when people say I don't like mezcal, but they drink tequila, they're drinking a mezcal. The only difference is tequila has been industrialized. It's industrialized, and people like, well, I like traditional. It's become industrialized in the fact that they're using industrial boilers to create the steam to cook the agave. And even roller mills are industrialized. They're machines, right? The Teonas were the old ways when they had the burros. So Siete Leguas still uses the burros with the Teona. But it's become industrialized where a lot of the mezcals, the artisanal and ancestral mezcals that are on the market now, are still done the old school way. And these are guys that are like, salt of the earth guys that are doing it in their backyard. They're taking their burro out and they're digging up the agave in the area around it, and they're loading them onto the burro, hauling it back to their palenque in their backyard with their fellow villagers or their family members, and they're making mezcal that way. And you can taste all that passion and joy and stuff in a good mezcal. There's a bunch of crappy mezcal out there too. The stuff that you can buy at like Bevmo and stuff that's cheap, that tastes like a burnt rubber tire. Those things aren't good. So if you try one and you like, this tastes like a burnt rubber tire, that is not a good mezcal, and you did not buy a good mezcal. So don't say you hate mezcal, just say you hate that brand. Because there's good mezcals out there. You just got to know what to look for. And I try to help people by doing reviews on mezcals. I haven't done a Mezcal Monday in a while. I need to get back to doing those to introduce you guys to some more mezcal brands that are really good. I've been really impressed with the Fuego y Humo, the Tobala that I did the review on. It is so good. It is really good. Another good one too, which is still available, is the Vago. The special Vago batch that we did for the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective. Amazing. It is so good. So fruity and sweet. Definitely a beautiful flavor profile, and it's an ensemble, so it's a mixture of a bunch of different agave types in there, and it is so good. We still have bottles of it, so if you haven't tried it, pick up a bottle. It is delicious. It is so good. What are your thoughts on Tears of Llorona? I think Tears of Llorona is a great extra añejo. You know, of course, it's, you know, a blend of Scotch barrel aged tequila with sherry barrel aged tequila with brandy aged tequila. They blend them together to create that. But I am hard pressed to find any agave notes with it. So I enjoy the flavor. I like it. I think it's great with a good stogie, and I have a bottle of it. It's good. But I prefer extra añejos where the agave is there and present. So like the Excelencia from Tapatio is probably one of my top extra añejos. The number 9 extra añejo from Cascanes that I first introduced, that one's great. I still have bottles of that. And we did a single barrel blended barrel extra añejo buy that we did for the collective. That was an amazing extra añejo. I haven't tried any of their stuff because they won't send me any more samples anymore, so I haven't had anything from them recent, so I don't know what their extra añejos are like, if they're even still doing it now. They're doing a lot of 7 stuff, which is the 40 proof, and it's like, okay, well, you started with 90 or 100 proof, and then you went to 108 proof. Why would you all of a sudden go back to 40 proof, or 40%? But they did. So, but they haven't sent me any samples, so I can't talk about their new stuff. So, hey, hombre. So all tequila is mezcal. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I already did that. Sorry. Yes. And so the only difference that, you know, with tequila is they just assign a name for it, and it has to follow certain rules, right? It has to be Weber Blue Agave. It has to be made in Jalisco or one of 4 other surrounding states where there's a small municipality there that is allowed to make tequila. You can, in like Guanajuato and Michoacan, Tamaulipas. There's like 4 different other states where they have small areas where they can make tequila as well. But most of it comes from Jalisco. At least the best stuff, too, comes from Jalisco. Fuente Seca 2018, one of the best. No, not one of the best of all times. No. It's good. It's different. It's very minerally and funky. It's got a weird funkiness to it. But actually, I prefer the 2013 more. They're coming out with a new one. It's already done, but they're not releasing it until the inventory for the 2018 is done. But I was talking to Jake Lustig the other day, a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, and he said to me, he goes, "Hey, we have the new one. It's ready. We're just waiting for the 2018 inventory to get consumed up. It hasn't been selling as good as the 2013 did, because I think a lot of people don't like that funky mineralness that it's got with it. And when I put it in a blind tasting and did a blind with some people with it. It took last place. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's the best of all time. But if you enjoy it, that's great, because each people have different preferences, and there's nothing wrong if you think it's the best of all time. But I am not somebody that's in that line of thinking. But it's okay if you are. Seriously, it is. Oof, a lot of questions. You guys have a lot of good questions today. So, I think that's it, right? We're an hour and 20 minutes in. Any other questions or anything you guys want to ask about real quick before we, don't forget to click the thumbs up, though. Give me a like for all the information I'm sharing with you guys today. It doesn't cost anything. Just click over there and click that thumbs up. Help a bald guy out. All right, so for those of you that just to kind of do a recap, the G4 6-barrel Añejo is officially been released. Members of the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective, which is the Discord community, got their shot at it today from Ferment and Still. But you can look for your bottles around at your local retailers and see if they're getting them. There's only select states that are getting them. So that one's going to be worth a shot. I'm talking to the brand. They did some really creative things with it. It looks good. It looks like it's going to be really good. I have a bottle coming, and I will do a review on it. The Knob Creek Rye El Tesoro Mundial collection is also coming out, and that will be we have that for the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective members as well. Everyone seems to be pretty excited about that. It's going to be really good. Everything Carlos does has been really good, and I've been impressed by the Mundial collection. I think that the Lafargue barrel that we got was one of the best that I've tried yet. I've tried some from Total Wine. I've tried some from Old Town, and I wasn't impressed with those. It had too much of the peatiness from the Lafargue in it, where I find that ours is not as peaty, but it has more of the caramel and chocolate notes and stuff that come from it. So I actually liked ours better. But of course, I also hand selected ours through a couple of different options that they sent me. So that one's still available on Ferment and Still if you want to try it. But the Knob Creek one is going to be a new one that's coming out. And I'm looking forward to trying that and telling you guys about it when it comes out. I already have my order placed, or I will have my order placed when it lands here. Which should be hopefully really soon from what the distributor was telling me. Do you think the popularity of high proofs will hang around into 2024? I really enjoy those over the usual 40. Yeah, I think they're going to stick around. You're going to see them as being a regular offering for the brands. And you'll probably see more brands doing it. I do have another high proof that I'm going to be reviewing. I've got the Pasote, but I've got another one too that I'll be reviewing and talking about. So, keep watching. Oh, and then also, for those of you that don't know too, do I have them here? I do. I'm thinking about doing this as a live on Instagram, but Sam Matias has asked me to work with them on doing a high proof Toona Blanco. And if you ever tried the regular Toona Blanco, I think it's delicious. It's really good. But they sent me a couple bottles just off the still from there. These are still strength, 110 proof. So I'm going to sit down and taste these and come up with ideas on things they can do to improve it and get back to them. So I was thinking I could do that on Instagram sometime live if you guys want to watch it. It might be fun to watch. But we'll see. It should be really good. Are you still planning on doing something with El Tequilano? Yeah, but they have a barrel select program that they're putting together, and we definitely will be getting a barrel from them. I need to check back in with Tony and see how things are coming along with that, and see if that's something that's going to be in the near future. It may be something for next year. He originally told me they were going to do single barrel stuff when I was there doing the Cristalino review with him on his roof, he told me they were going to start doing some single barrel stuff, and then it got put on hold because they needed to take care of some other things. And then they just recently said that they're going to look to kick it back up again. But I need to check in with Tony and see what that's looking like and when they're expecting to do that. So, can you recommend a Jabali mezcal for me? Yes, Dos Pasiones is great. Jabali. I reviewed it. Let me see. Let me grab a bottle. Show you what it looks like. Hold on. Well, I gotta find it. I don't know where it is right now. Dos Pasiones Jabali is really good. Rey Campero Jabali is really good. Pluma Negra Jabali is really good. Not a whole lot of producers play with Jabali because it can it foams up and can blow your still up. So a lot of them don't mess with it. But Rey Campero's Jabali is amazing. So is Dos Pasiones, and so is Pluma Negra. Sorry, I drew a blank for a second. Costco has a 8-year extra Neo from 1920. No, I haven't tried it. 1921, ever since they left, 1079 has not been as good as it used to be. So I'm not a big 1921 fan. Will you be doing a blind for a Repo and Añejo? Yes, I will be. And I'll be selecting members from the YouTube channel to participate in that. So those of you that are members here on YouTube, watch for when I announce that I'm going to be doing those blinds. And if you want to participate in them, let me know. And then we'll send you the samples and get you involved in it. So we have 3 new people this week. 2 new people this week. One that was part of the group last week. And Naveen is here. He's going to be one of them. And so it's going to be fun. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Instagram. What are some good añejos and extra añejos to introduce non-tequila drinkers into price not being an issue? Get the Nueve Uno Añejo Deep. Amazing añejo. One of my favorite añejos. Really good. You want something lower priced? The San Matias Gran Reserva Extra Añejo is really good. I introduced a lot of people to tequila with this one. It's it's really good. There's no additives in it. People will tell you, I don't think there's additives. No, there's no additives. Other añejos that are good. El Tesoro Añejo is really good. El Luchador Añejo is really good. Even the Carrera Añejo is good. The old Carrera Añejo. You want to know what one of my what añejo that I really like? You know, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it for one of the budget series ones. You guys are gonna get a kick out of this. It's great. I found it. It's budget añejo. It is so good, but it's gonna be a little tricky to find nowadays. But I'll turn you on to it. But those are what I recommend. Start with those. The Nueva Uno Añejo Deep is fantastic. The Corrido Añejo is really good. I turned a lot of people on to Corrido. And matter of fact, I know the owner. He's a good friend of mine now. We've met up one time when we were at the Vivanco's distillery. I appreciate your honest reviews on the recent G4 repo. 3X blew my mind. Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah. PM Spirits High Proof, any good? I've got a bottle. I need to review it. I have a bottle here to review. I got PM Spirits. I got the regular stuff and the high proof. And I'll do a review of it. I haven't tried it yet. I've been... Right now, it's like the stuff that I buy takes a back burner to anything that anybody sends me. When a brand sends me a bottle, it gets priority, and I try to do those first. So I have a bunch of stuff that I've purchased that I need to do reviews on. I have the 1940 Campo Azul too, which I need to do a review on. That one's supposed to be really good, so I'm looking forward to trying that and seeing what I think and giving you guys my opinion on that. But that's Campo Azul, you know, it's made it at Producto Fino, which has a big, huge monster diffuser there, but they went back to the old school ways of making this tequila. So I'm excited to try that and excited to talk about it, because anytime a distillery goes away from using a diffuser to going back to old school for a brand, I'm all in favor for it. And I'll, you know, try to support it as much as possible if it's good. So we did add it to ferment and still already, but I'll do a review of it. They have a repo now too. I need to get the repo to do a review of, so we'll add that as well. You guys, don't forget to click the thumbs up. Give me a like for all this information and question and answering I'm doing for you. Click the thumbs up button. Give me a like. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. What do you think of Cantera Negra? I'm not a fan. They sent me the whole line of tequila to review, and I did not like it. It had a weird, bitter, funky taste to it. And I said so in my review. My review's on the channel. You can watch my review. Just search for Cantera Negra on the channel. I wasn't a fan of it, and I had the owner of the brand messaging me, DMing me for a couple of days afterwards, trying to tell me he needed to walk me through it and stuff. But you know, I wasn't a fan, so I'm not a fan of that brand. So it would be a no for me on the Cantera Negra. Just an honest review. And I told the guy, I go, look, I told you when you sent me this stuff you were going to get an honest review, and I don't like it. It's not good in my opinion. And he's like, well, you're just not trained. Let me walk you through it. I'm like, no, having somebody walk me through it and try to sell me on why it tastes good is not going to do me any good. And it's not going to change my mind. It's like, I know what I like. I've been drinking tequila for a long time. I know what's good and what's bad in my opinion. And why can't you just understand, okay, it's not for him, you know, and move on? He basically was messaging me for 3 or 4 days after the review, trying to convince me that I need to revisit it. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And it's not the fact that it's not made well. It's the fact that they're not paying attention to something in the processes, or there's something in there that made it off. Because just because I don't like a tequila, there's traditionally made tequilas that aren't good, that don't use additives. There's some that are not good. They don't do the cuts right. They don't pay attention to fermentation. There's things like that where it affects the flavor profile. It doesn't necessarily mean that that what they're doing is bad. It just means they're just not. As David Ravandi says, you know, the guy that does 123 Organic and El Diablito and El Luchador, one of his favorite expressions he always says to me all the time is the devil's in the details. And it's true. The devil is in the details. The more they pay attention to the details and the more they care about the details, the better the tequila is. And you can taste the difference. You can taste the difference because they care enough about it to pay attention to the small details. And you see, I'm a big person about details, and that's one of the reasons why I did so well with my beer brewing is I didn't slack off on anything. I paid attention to everything. Mash, temperatures. I did a multi-temperature mash. I did a protein rest. I did, I'm everything. I was particular about how I wanted things done because I wanted to produce the right flavor profile. And the guys that do that, instead of the guys like, I'm just making a quick batch of tequila because I'll sell it for, I'll make some money on it quick. Those guys are the ones that produce the stuff that's like, it's okay. It's not great. But the ones that are like, no, this is my family. This is my life. This is what I do. This is a reflection of me. So I'm going to pay attention to every detail. And if you've ever been with Felipe Camarena, when he walks around El Pendillo, like when I go, he walks around with me. I talk with him personally. He'll sit there and he'll while he's talking, he'll look at his guy that's running the stills. He's like, hey, and he starts saying stuff to him in Spanish, picks up the chart, looks at things. He's like, okay, all right, good. He's making sure that all of his people are following the details and stuff and are doing everything they're supposed to do to make sure that G4 is representative of the 4 generations of tequila of his family that he's been producing. And that's the kind of stuff I love, and that's the kind of stuff you can see. What happened? Is somebody's? Oh, Naveen, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. $1.99. Thank you. It didn't pop up here. It was weird. Maybe I need to turn this on. That's what it is. But thank you so much for the super chat, Naveen. I appreciate it. With too much smokiness, how could you find an agave flavor in mezcal? They taste completely different to tequila. No, it depends on the mezcal you're trying. There's not a whole lot of smokiness in mezcal. That's a misnomer. That's a misunderstanding. If you try a bad mezcal, it's going to be overly smoky. But ones that are done right, you won't taste the smoke. It doesn't taste smoky. It might have a little bit of smoke flavor blended into it, but it's not like super smoky. I can taste a lot of agave on mezcals when the producers are making them right. But if you look at like Zikaru, which is the stuff like Bevmo sells, that's garbage. It's junk. It's like tastes like a burnt truck tire. I was like, when I first tried it, and see, this is one thing too, is I've had mentors too, right, that mentored me. And when I first tried Zikaru, I came out and I said to one of my friends who's my mentor, I said, hey, I tried this Zikaru mezcal. You keep talking about mezcals being good. This stuff was nasty. It tastes like I'm licking a burnt truck tire. He goes, yeah, what are you doing drinking that stuff? Because this stuff's not good. That's why it tastes like that. You need to try other mezcals. And so I was like, okay. So then he, would give me mezcals to try, and I'd start trying them and like, okay, yeah, this is definitely a lot better, a lot more flavor and stuff. And that's when I fell in love with mezcal. But everyone assumes that, because they hear that mezcal is tequila's smoky cousin. That's not true. They're like directly related. They're the same thing. It's just mezcal is, most of the time is cooked in a ground oven where they don't use steam. Instead, they use, fire from molten rocks that creates its own steam when it's covered with leaves and the agave are put on top of it. So it's still somewhat steamed because it's the fire rocks, but there's still a little bit of smoke that gets into them. But the smoke, if the mezcalero makes the mezcal right, the smoke is not even noticeable. It's in the background, if any. And there's a lot of good mezcals out there that I tried where you taste no smoke. And somebody mentioned Dorumbas before. Dorumbas is steamed. They don't even use fire in that one. It's steamed in above ground adobe oven. So on those, you won't even taste smoke. You shouldn't. So the whole idea that because it's a mezcal, it's going to be smoky is completely wrong. But yeah, there is different flavors than tequila, than Weber Blue, because they can use 30 plus different types. I think 50 is like the last count I heard, different types of agave. And each different type of agave comes from different areas that has different flavor profiles. I really like Cenizo from Durango. It's really good. Burrito Fiesteros is a brand that I really enjoy. They do their stuff right. And I love their mezcals. And if you haven't tried their mezcal gin yet, it's delicious. It's really good. And the Senor Soto that they do too, the Soto they do, which is an ensemble from Sotos. It's got a few different types of Sotos in it. It's delicious. I love Senor Soto. So if you haven't tried those, try them, and you'll see what I mean. You'll be, oh, okay, I get it now. But don't be afraid to explore mezcals, and don't think that it's all going to be smoky, because it's not. Travis, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. All right, guys. We're looking at an hour and a half now. Hour and 40 minutes. Any other questions real quick? And then I'm going to wrap it up. I don't want to talk too much. I'll lose my voice. I got to do some other things today. I need to make some phone calls and work on some other projects. So I always enjoy coming here and answering your guys' questions and talking with you, chatting with you, talking tequila with you, sharing what I learn. And so this, hopefully this is as much fun for you as it is for me. There it is. There's Travis' super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I don't see any other questions popping up real quick. So look for I'll do some more reviews next week. And we'll do another live on Thursday. And then don't forget, tomorrow we have the blind challenge live on Instagram. So look forward to seeing you all show up there on Instagram and watching that. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you haven't watched the previous blind we did with the 40% Blancos, you got to watch that. That one was fun. Everyone had a good time. And like I always say, life's too short to drink bad tequila. So keep watching, keep listening, and keep understanding, and try some of the stuff I recommend. And you'll find some great tequilas. Salute. Bye, guys.